It's safe to say that nostalgia plays a key role in how we experience media, but too often I think it's placed in a negative connotation. We talk about how nostalgia blinds us to the flaws in media we experienced as a child, and how we'd rather put on our rose-colored glasses rather than actually critique what we just watched. But I think there's more to nostalgia than just blinding us to flaws. I think it can actually be a positive experience. Nostalgia can play a role in helping us remember media that we might have otherwise forgot about. In fact, this happened to me recently with a little special called Olive the Other Reindeer. I remember watching it on Cartoon Network every Christmas, year in and year out. But as I got older, it just sort of faded to the back of my mind. I watched other movies, I played a ton of video games, I was getting into music, and Olive just didn't stick around. Until I went to a Goodwill, found the VHS for $2, and immediately brought it home with a question in my mind. Does Olive the Other Reindeer hold up? And if it doesn't, will that nostalgia blind me to it? Will I be able to critique it in a fair light? Or was this a thing where nostalgia brought me to a piece of media that I desperately wanted to see again? Well, in order to answer that question, we kind of have to talk about the special itself. The synopsis is a simple one. It stars Olive, a dog who lives with her owner Tim, and Olive is a huge fan of the Christmas season. She sings about it, she talks about how it's her favorite holiday, and she helps all the people in her town get ready for Christmas. Unfortunately though, Christmas looks to be canceled this time around. One of Santa's reindeer ends up getting injured, and Santa is going to call off the whole thing. He talks about on the radio how he needs all of the other reindeer to step it up, but Olive accidentally mishears it and thinks that Santa said we need Olive, as in the character, all of the other reindeer to come and help him out.
He said Olive, the other reindeer. I heard him. Santa needs you to be the replacement reindeer.
That's crazy.
That's why you're not interested in chasing cars and barking like an idiot. You're a reindeer, not a dog.
This kind of plot reminds me of another Christmas special, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. In fact, that line, all of the other reindeer, that comes from Rudolph and the song itself. But that's not the only similarity here. Both of the characters kind of go on a similar journey. Rudolph, in case you haven't seen it, stars a reindeer with a red nose. He's made fun of, he can't participate in reindeer games, and he's also isolated a lot from everyone around him. He meets friends along the way, he grows confident in himself, and ultimately at the end of the day, it's his uniqueness that saves Santa and the reindeer, using his red nose to guide Santa through the fog and to help deliver presents in his time of need. It's a story about accepting that we're all different and how our differences can actually help at the end of the day if we know how to use them and to be confident in our own self. Olive plays very similarly with that. Olive is not a reindeer, she is a dog, and every character reminds you of that fact. Olive, you can't fly. Olive, you don't look like a reindeer. Olive, this quest is going to be a waste of time, and we kind of believe that as an audience as well because we know she's not a reindeer to begin with. But Olive, with her personality, the fact that she is such a go-getter, a positive influence, and again, at the end of the day, it's the fact that she is a dog that ultimately saves Santa.
Olive, I'm sorry, but we're lost in the fog. Could you smell us home? Mrs. Claus is baking cookies.
Cookies? Gingerbread. 10 degrees starboard.
It's very clever and very unique. I think I like Olive's approach a little bit more though, simply because I enjoy this protagonist far more than I did with Rudolph. Rudolph is always kind of worrying and anxious, and believe me, I have that anxiety myself, but Olive is the type of person I want to be, the type of person we aspire to be. She's just so nice and pleasant around all the characters she talked to, and that's really good because it contrasts that with the world being such a bitter and angsty and lonely place. No character in this special is nice to Olive. Tim, her owner, wants her to be more like a dog. Fido the willfully mishears things and lies to her. Martini, the penguin, who accompanies Olive through her quest, is a con artist and scams people. There's the security guy at the North Pole who won't let her through. There's a reindeer named Schnitzel who makes fun of her for even attempting the quest in the first place. And we have a mailman, the primary antagonist, who wants Christmas to be over, mainly because not only did he have an awful childhood, but he has to deliver packages throughout the season, and he hates all that manual labor.
More catalogs! First class, third class, book rate bulk. Is it any wonder why I sulk? Christmas, bah, bug and hum.
And yet, despite all these characters being mean and ruthless to her, Olive doesn't stray away from that goal. She is kind to these people, she is kind to the world around them, and sees good in everybody. Match that with the performance by Drew Barrymore, who gives Olive this happy love for life in her voice, and man, do I fall in love with the character and the special. Yes, the plot is stupid. It's basically a miscommunication the entire time, and it does take elements from Rudolph. It's not the most creative thing in the world. It's based off of a children's book, for God's sakes. But Olive as a character is the type of character that I will follow no matter what. I will root for her, even if her quest is stupid and sometimes asinine, because I want her to be happy. I vicariously live through Olive in hope that even if everything goes to shit, that she can somehow still find a way to save the day, because I love following her.
Maybe I'm just a little runt with no antlers, but it looks like I'm the only one who's trying to save Christmas. You could at least wish me luck. There are actually people out there who want to cancel Christmas. Are you on their side?
The other thing that helps Olive stand out among a sea of other Christmas specials is the art style. I'm sure you're looking at this right now and are not quite sure what to make of it. Well, let me explain a little bit. The entire thing is done in 3D, but the characters themselves are actually flat. Think of it kind of like Paper Mario or other 2.5D games, where the background is all 3D, but the characters are flat. This style was used to emulate the feel and look of the book by the same name, and I think it's really cool. You just don't see specials like this all the time. And while many people will criticize the early 3D and the polygons and say it looks outdated, I say that it gives it a ton of charm. I am more and more fascinated with this era in computer animation, when everything wasn't about the fur or the textures or the technology, but rather it was about using that technology to tell innovative stories, and hey, years later it just adds a whole bunch of charm.
It was the postman, wasn't it? We found the waitress' clothes. How'd you get away?
It's kind of hard to explain. Have you ever heard of Deus Ex Machina?
Denise who?
Look it up. But listen, we missed the bus.
Overall, though, I'd say all of the other Reindeer is a piece of nostalgia that has absolutely held up. I think my pros for it are as follows. Number one, Olive is a great protagonist that I love to follow and watch. She is the highlight, she is the thing you come for and will be the thing you remember. Number two, I love the art style. That 2D and 3D mix is something I don't see often, but I really love when it shows up. And the jokes and the songs are a lot of fun as well. I'd say my weaknesses are the fact that the plot is kind of dumb. Not every song is a banger, and sometimes characters can come across as being a little too mean and a little too unlikable, which yes, is a flaw. We don't spend a ton of time in this special, so if a character leaves a bad impression on you immediately, they barely have any time to redeem themselves. I'm talking about Tim, Olive's owner. What a fucking asshole the entire time. And so that can leave you with a bit of an angry feeling, but overall, those are the flaws I have with the special. Again, if you have not seen it, I'd absolutely recommend doing so, because in my opinion, it's an underrated Christmas classic.
I was so upset about Santa that I forgot I have the best dog in the whole world. Wow, and the best reindeer, too. Merry Christmas, Olive. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, you're the best.
So, what does all of the other reindeer tell us about nostalgia? Well, my main takeaway is that we need to be more honest about how we discuss nostalgia in a media criticism light. Yes, it can absolutely blind us to the flaws and alter our perception of works, but I also think it can be used as a weapon of good, allowing us to expose ourselves to works that might have been forgotten about. Olive is a special with a cult audience. It has its fans to be sure, but I know so many more people can enjoy it. And ultimately, it was nostalgia that led me to talk about it and showcase it with you guys. And if one of you enjoy it, I think that's a good thing. Nostalgia is just simply another tool, a part of the human experience, and we can treat it like a bad thing and let it harm us, but if we're smart about it, we can use it for the greater good and showcase works that I think honestly deserve it.